Welcome to DC News Now. You are taking a live look outside, and it looks very cloudy out there. And this is at the Capitol. This is the day after the State of the Union address that we are definitely going to talk about. We're going to talk about weather and some more stuff as well. Thank you for joining us on DC News Now, the news at noon. I'm Shanika Grimshaw.
And I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm meteorologist Damon Matson. I swear I thought I saw the sun trying to break out a little bit there in that live shot. I don't know if I'm seeing things. I might be, probably.
Does it have a shot or what?
Well, I mean, look, did that gray affect you this morning? Or was it more like, hey, it doesn't feel as cold, so I don't mind this? Because I was torn. I didn't know how to feel.
For me, I think, Shanika, forgive me for jumping in here,
Sure.
but as long as it's not super cold and as long as it's not snowing, I'm good for now.
Yep, I hear that. Shanika.
I'll take that. You know, I can't ask for too much
Okay.
after what we've gone through.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, I'll take some of the clouds, but the sun has to make an appearance at some point.
Oh, all right. There it is, Mother Nature. There's the demand, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
Don't forget, guys, not only do we have two snowstorms, the last one nowhere near as impactful as the one before, but we've had, remember, though, Damon, that stretch of bitter cold weather, and the wind was blowing.
Look, I saw somebody say something about, oh, poor DC, because we missed out on all the blizzard that just happened.
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to reply back and say, no, we're good. Thanks.
We're good.
We don't need that. Because the rest of the Northeast and the East Coast obviously got slammed. We saw a little bit of that snowfall and the cold that lingered behind it the last couple of days. But now we are snapping out of that colder stretch. However, the clouds did make a pretty strong return thanks to a clipper that has been passing us by here today. It's mostly centered up across Pennsylvania and New York, but its warm front came through this morning. The cold front attached to that is swinging through now as we speak, but in between, there's been plenty of clouds. Now, precipitation, very, very limited at best. Most of us have been completely dry, even with this thing passing through. The mountains saw a healthy dose of snow last night into early this morning, and now we have a little bit of rain trying to come down in southern Maryland, but I haven't really seen any reports indicating that is making it to the ground, so that's really about it. Once that moves out, we are dry, but how about this? I mean, folks, those temperatures, they've been on the rise since about midnight last night, and we're running about 15 degrees warmer at this point in the day compared to where we were this time yesterday when we were just struggling to get back above freezing. And before the day is done, we are guaranteed the warmer temperatures. Most of us will see highs today in the low to mid 50s. That is actually typical for late February, but given how cold it's been all winter, that's going to almost be a spring-like feel. And Mark and Shanika, the sun does break back out for a little bit of time. Now, we'll talk about those rain chances for tomorrow and how things are looking going into the weekend here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you so very much. All right, Shanika, State of the Union last night, a lot of anticipation. The president certainly had his moments, speaking for nearly 2 hours. He gave his first State of the Union of his second term. This time around, he's facing some low approval ratings, but he touted his immigration policies and saying that the border is more secure now than ever. He also highlighted his economic plan, saying that they've lowered gas prices and mortgage rates. He criticized the Supreme Court. The justice is literally sitting right in front of him for their ruling against his tariffs.
Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
And you can watch the president's full State of the Union on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
And there's a lot he covered, as you mentioned. There's something he didn't cover. I know some of the Epstein survivors were invited to sit in place of some people in office, and he didn't mention anything, so people were wondering if he would. but he didn't. We also saw a moment where Representative Al Green held up a sign. He's a Democratic a Texas representative, and the sign held "Black people aren't monkeys," and that is in reference to a few weeks ago when that post came out of our former president, Barack Obama, and Michelle Obama. So he was escorted out of the State of the Union, but he did say later that he really just wanted to get his point across, that that was unacceptable in his eyes.
And a lot of them, there were, I think, 10 or 15 Democrats that chose not to show as well. So it had a lot of theater, and there were some powerful moments, some emotional moments as well. The president acknowledging, the two members of the National Guard from West Virginia who were attacked, while protecting the streets of D.C. There were some poignant moments, really throughout. And again, the president spoke for nearly 2 hours, and there were some moments.
Yeah.
Abigail Spanberger, governor of the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, she had the Democrats' rebuttal. She kept asking, are everyday Americans better off right now under the president's leadership? Is the president addressing their daily needs? So, big night for the Republicans, big night for Democrats, big night for the country. And of course, the November midterms will be coming up soon, and obviously the voters will decide where we go from here.
Yeah, and also we didn't mention the U.S. hockey team, they were also invited, and they got a round of applause. So there were some really good moments, and
Absolutely.
At least it wasn't polarizing. Everyone could join in, stand up, and clap for them.
Right.
So we appreciated those moments. All right, moving along to a new video out of Northeast. That's getting major attention online. The video capturing a messy situation in the district. Look at that. The garbage collector trashing the bins, just sending the contents onto the ground and then walking off. People watching the trash can takedown millions of times on social media. I know I've seen it. And now the Department of Public Works is investigating. The incident happened on Friday behind a home on K Street near Union Station. In the video, someone wearing a highlighter green-colored jacket can be seen grabbing trash cans and tossing garbage onto the ground and throwing bins into nearby bushes. Take a listen.
It was almost malicious that he didn't seem to think that it wasn't just like, oh, I'm getting a can out of the way. I'm dumping garbage into the bushes with the cans.
Yeah, and after DPW acknowledged the video over the weekend, DC News Now reached out for an update on that investigation. The department has not responded with additional details just yet, but for now, neighbors said they are just waiting for answers. And just looking at the video, Mark, in my opinion, I know mine doesn't matter, but I thought to myself, what made him so mad? Why is he like this? Like, is he? It looks like he was upset about something.
Definitely having a moment.
Having a moment. And my thing is, okay, so when you have those moments, right, you're on the job, and I'm just talking in general, not just collecting garbage or collecting recyclables. The camera is always on you. And I'm not just speaking about our job. There's always cameras around.
There's cameras everywhere.
I'm wondering, what was this guy thinking at the time? So.
Well, in other news, Sanika, a grieving mom accusing prison guards in Virginia of beating her son to death, then covering up the crime. The family says that the guards at Lee Penitentiary sexually assaulted Malik Carter, and then there were several attacks that led to his death. He was found unresponsive in his cell on February 11th. Carter was convicted of robbery back in 2018, and he was set to be released this year. The family's attorney accusing the prison and guards of having a history of violence and abuse. The Bureau of Prisons, in a statement writing in part that due to safety, security, and privacy reasons, it does not share specifics for the cause of death of any inmate.
And investigators in Northern Virginia have found the person of interest in the death of a woman at a bus stop. Fairfax County Police say they arrested Abdul Jallo for shoplifting, but the homicide investigation continues. Jallo was the last person seen with the woman who was killed Monday night inside of a bus shelter in Hibla Valley, and investigators say she was badly injured in the upper body and died at the scene.
Well, a man has been arrested for almost 2 weeks after an elderly man was shot and killed in a Potomac senior living facility. This happened on Valentine's Day, Shanika, and Montgomery County Police confirmed Wednesday that the police have arrested a suspect, again, the shooting death of 87-year-old Robert Fuller. Fuller was found with a gunshot wound to the head in his apartment around 7:30 in the morning, again on Valentine's Day. A news conference is scheduled for 3 p.m. today. We're going to learn much more on the investigation and where things stand, and we'll certainly cover that probably live on DC News Now at 4 o'clock.
And rent prices, it isn't getting any better for residents in the DMV. And a nonprofit examined the issue in a recent nationwide study that found that DC is among the regions with the largest gaps between rent increases and wage growth in the country. United Way also observed similar patterns in neighboring counties such as Prince William County, Arlington County, Montgomery County, and Prince George's County. You're watching DC News Now. Stick around.